If you're looking for a Christmas PC deal, here's your video. I will show you different PC builds for different budgets, and you will have all of them in the video description, but you will also have alternatives for RGB systems, since most of these PCs are going to be all black, which is cheaper and honestly the same performance. Now, I want to say that these deals are not as big as the Black Friday deals, and some GPU prices are really high right now, so make sure to check the video description for the latest prices in case some of these components are maybe cheaper or more expensive. With that being said, let's start. With the cheapest one for $650, it's a 1080p high FPS budget system, and you will be able to play basically every single game at 1080p 60 plus FPS on average, high settings. Of course, it depends on the title. Now, this one has the AMD Ryzen 5 5600 alongside the RX 6600, and this is a really good all-around gaming system. You get 1TB of Gen 3 SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8 of course, a 550W 80 plus bronze power supply, meaning that you can upgrade the GPU down the line, especially to a GPU like the RX 6650 XT or maybe the 6700 XT. Now, you will see a lot of AMD on this video, and that's because they have the best price to performance components, so you will achieve the highest FPS for the lowest prices. You also get good airflow with the Salman S2 as the case. With the front mesh panel, like I said, most of these systems are all black, but you will have an RGB case with really good airflow in the video description as an alternative. The motherboard has Wi-Fi included, maybe this is a plus for you. It's a really budget motherboard and it has enough for 1080p gaming, but of course it's not gonna be the flashiest. With the second system, it's actually the same exact PC except for the graphics card. We have the RX 6700 XT instead of the 6600, but aside from that, the system is the same, because like I said before, with this power supply, you can upgrade the GPU without any issue. The 6700 XT is also capable of 1440p gaming, so if you want a 1440p 60 plus FPS on average, high settings, most games experience, this one is for you. And also if you want to play esports titles at above 144 FPS at 1440p, this system is going to be for you as well. Now, if you have a 1080p monitor, you can also buy this or downgrade to the 6650 XT in case you want to save up some money, since that GPU is going to be more than you need for 1080p. But overall, for this system at $800, you're going to get a great 1080p experience and also a really good 1440p one. Now, for around $1,000, actually $1,020 by the time that I'm recording this video, because it used to be cheaper, but because the power supply went out of stock, I had to change it. We have a system with, once again, really similar components to the last one, but this time you get the RX 6840 GPU and you get the BitFenix Nova Mesh ATX case with 4 pre-installed RGB fans already, and you also get a CPU cooler with RGB, which is going to keep that CPU cooler more quiet, and your CPU is going to have a better cooler overall. Now, if you want to keep this PC under $1,000, you can take out the cooler and leave the stock AMD cooler for the 5600, since it doesn't really require a CPU cooler to perform well. Now, the power supply is the Enermax Revolution 650W 80 plus gold certified. This one is a better power supply, not only because it has more wattage, but it has better quality as well. And this system is a high FPS 1440p system or entry level 60 plus FPS 4K PC. So if you have a 4K monitor or you wanna buy one and you wanna play at 60 frames per second, then this system, I would say, is the minimum that you should have for that resolution. Now, if you want an Nvidia GPU, you will have to pay a premium for 4K gaming. However, just like the RGB alternatives, you will have Nvidia alternatives for the GPUs. Now, for $1,500, we have a system that's different from the last one, of course, that's quite different from the other ones. Here you get the i5 13600K, which is a much better CPU than the Ryzen 5 5600 that we've been putting on the other systems. You get a different CPU cooler as well, because the i5 13600K require a better cooler than the Ryzen 5. We also changed the power supply to a 750W 80 plus gold power supply. We are talking about the Fantex AMP one. And then the most important part, I changed the graphics card to the RX 6900 XT. This is a 4K medium to high FPS gaming GPU. I would recommend you this system if you have at least a 4K monitor and you want to play at high refresh rates. The storage is different as well. This is a terabyte of Gen 4 SSD, but it performs like a Gen 3. It's still pretty fast for the price of $57. And then the case is the Fractal Design Meshify 2 Compact DG Dark Tints ATX Tower case. I absolutely love this one for a black build, and it has really good airflow. Now you may like other cases, and I completely understand, so feel free to change the case if you don't like this one. And with the last system and the most expensive PC on the list, we have a system that's actually similar in terms of CPU and some other components, but it's quite different in performance because we get the RX 7900 XT instead of the 6900 XT, and I feel like this GPU, by the time that I'm recording this video, is the best value, highest end GPU on the market right now, since the 7900 XTX price it's around $1,500, so do not buy that GPU at that price point, and the RTX 4080 it's around $1,300, which is $400 more expensive than this system, only delivering a 15% increase on performance. Now if you value ray tracing and DLSS, then maybe it's worth to spend the extra $400. It really depends on your budget and needs, but for most people the 7900 XT is gonna be all that you will need for 4K high FPS gaming. We kept the same case, we changed the power supply to an 850 watt 80 plus gold power supply instead of a 750, then I changed the storage to 2TB of Gen 4 SSD, the motherboard to a GB C690 UD DDR4 motherboard. This is a really good motherboard for gaming and overclocking, and then I changed the memory kit to a 32 gigs kit. Especially if you want to do content creation and streaming, this will help you out. The CPU and CPU cooler will remain the same with the 13600K and the Thermal Ride Peerless Assassin for the CPU cooler, and the total price it's around $1,900. So if you have $2,000, you can spend some more on the CPU cooler, or maybe changing components to RGB if you'd like. You have some things to do if you want a different system for $2,000, but you will not be able to upgrade the GPU to a higher performance one. This one will perform like the RTX 3090 Ti in terms of gaming, and the 3090 Ti is going for around $1,600, even though it's an expensive GPU at $900, so you will expect to have a GPU that will perform awesome at 4K. Now if your budget is around $2,500 or $3,000, maybe even $4,000, you will have those PCs in the video description, so I don't make this video too long. And if you have any questions about these components, let me know in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible, but please understand that most of these components change prices every single day. So before you comment that I suck because I put a $1,000 PC and you see it at $1,200, it's not my fault, it's the market changing every single day, and I hope that you understand. If you got value out of this video, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button for more deals coming soon. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.